I would run that again and again and again. Well, then perhaps an apology is in order. By the way, thank you, John Harwood. We're going to move on to our panel. With today's release by the Dems, here are CNBC contributors Howard Dean, former Vermont governor, former presidential candidate, and Jimmy P. of the American Enterprise Institute, along with Jonathan Collegio. Sorry, of American Crossroads. They're spelling it out. You should have seen how they spelled it all out for me. I call Howard Dean, I call him governor, but I call him Hody when he comes on, because really famous people like Benifer and people like that, they get to be called things. Governor, my first question, you've seen these now. My very first question, I'm going to ask this a lot tonight. You got a guy in society who paid $2 million in taxes, gave $4 million to charity. Should we, A, wish we had more guys like this in society, or B, wish we didn't have any guys like this in society? Is he a net positive for, if you pay $2 million in taxes? His overall rate on what he either gave to charity or taxes is about 40%, Governor. Good or bad?
That's not the issue. The issue is how truthful is he? And the problem is he did go back and manipulate the tax rate list in the past year. And NBC ran a clip on the evening news tonight of him saying, I don't know, last July or something.
Is that really? I know where you're going.
If I paid more taxes than I should have, I'm not qualified to be president. Well, he did.
Governor, is that really the issue? So he paid more taxes. So you guys are going to now nail him on paying more taxes than he had to.
No,
when he just stays within the law and pays what he's supposed to pay by law, you don't like that, and you accuse him of evasion or paying no taxes. Now that he paid less than he had to, now you're going to get him on that? That's a gotcha moment, Howard?
The issue is his credibility. He should have just shown the tax returns.
How's Harry Reid's credibility at this point?
I'd say it's in some trouble, but I'd say Mitt's not out of the woods yet.
All right, Jimmy P.
Well, what about you got Romney, who so-called manipulates his tax rate to pay more taxes, and then you have these guys who support the president, like Warren Buffett, who say, gee, I would love to pay more taxes. You raise those tax rates, I'm going to pay more taxes. And they're held up on a pedestal. Romney's actually paying more. Like they got him ready to indict him. It's absolutely ridiculous.
But Jimmy, should we want more people? Let's say we had 10 times as many people.
No.
Let's say we had 10 times as many people. No, listen.
We don't want taxpayers. We don't want people giving $4 million to charity. We don't want value creators. Listen, those are the parasites in society. We don't want that.
I read Robert Rice will be on later in the show. I read a piece on the Huffington Post that this is the embodiment of what's wrong with this country. Is that someone
wealth creators? Well, no. Here's what we want. We want people like Mitt Romney who go out, who over the course of their life have created wealth, started companies, turned around companies, pay millions in taxes, give millions to charity. I would think that, listen, a nation full of Mitt Romneys would be fantastic.
Howard, I'm going to give you one more chance on that.
Look,
I think you're being quiet because you don't really have anything to say. I think you're being really quiet tonight.
I've been on with you guys before. You're a tough combination. You and Jim. It's trying to get a word in edgewise.
Don't back down. I got one more. Wait till I bring in Jonathan. Wait till I bring in him.
Look, nobody begrudges Mitt Romney making $20 million or whatever he made. Everybody thinks that. Most Americans think that's great.
Wait a second. I read that is an embodiment of what's wrong with this country, with wealth being concentrated at the top where all the power is, and they maintain that wealth by, I guess, bribing or lobbying Congress to keep their tax breaks.
As I said, nobody begrudges Mitt Romney making $20 million a year, I don't think.
This whole campaign is about begrudging Mitt Romney for making that is the core issue of Obama's campaign.
The campaign is about different rules for different people.
Jonathan,
Mitt Romney plays by a different set of rules than everybody else, and that's what the problem is.
If you argue with Howard, I'm going to start taking Howard's side. Jonathan, so what are you going to say?
One of the key things to remember is that this campaign is not about tax returns. That this is basically a ruse that the campaign invented in order to not talk about the economy. You remember the first time that they brought up the tax return issue, it was the Monday after the July jobs report. And they did it because it was a terrible jobs report, and they pushed this thing out. The media bit, and they were, they went after Romney. The next time they did it, it was when Jim Messina, the campaign manager from Obama, for Obama, wrote a letter to Romney's campaign. You remember when he did that? It was the day of the August jobs number for the states, when 44 states saw their unemployment numbers rise. This is a manufactured story by the Obama campaign. Nobody cares about about this. That same Washington Post poll back in August showed that only 20% of people even thought that this was relevant. It's not a relevant issue because he pays what the law requires, maybe a little bit more. He's not breaking laws. This is not an important thing. And that's kind of the tragedy of this whole thing, is that we're talking about something that really isn't an issue at all.
This is what the Republicans don't get. They don't get that the issue is not that how much tax he paid, unless he paid zero, which apparently he didn't. So the problem is, for him, is credibility. Does this guy play by a different set of rules than everybody else? And he clearly does. And that is the core problem.
You're not suggesting that he's paying less than the law requires?
It's his problem for the Cayman Islands and the Swiss bank accounts, which, by the way, we still haven't heard anything about the Swiss bank accounts in the Cayman Islands.
What is this crazy set of rules Romney plays by? It's called the U.S. tax code.
Yeah, change the tax laws if you don't like it.
Most Americans can't afford to have a Swiss bank account or hide their money in the Cayman Islands. They can't do that.
Has he broken the law?
He hasn't broken any rules. No, he has not broken the law. It doesn't appear so, and I don't believe he has.
Well, that seems like a lot of rhetoric for, when you really just
for a non-point.
On the NBC News program tonight, the news was that a $75,000 a year auto worker paid a higher percentage of his taxes than Mitt Romney, who made $13 million.
Anybody
that Romney would pay more, what would happen?
Howard, anybody who has investment income, like either dividends or capital gains, could pay lower than people who have ordinary income. That's just part of the tax code, too.
But that doesn't seem fair to ordinary working people.
Right? Let's raise taxes on investing and saving, because when you raise taxes on something, you get more of it. And heaven help us, we certainly don't need more saving and investing.
Howard, you're a contributor. I can't see any other reason why you'd come on here if you weren't a contributor. But if you do go on with Rachel or Ed or any of the... Will you just bring up over at MS about Harry Reid that maybe they just might mention that he said all that stuff and it was apparently all a bunch of crap? Will you just mention it to them?
Joe,
maybe they'll do a big investigation. Maybe they'll look into that.
I come on here because I get invited because you need a moderate on your show with these right-wingers that you have and these very conservative hosts.
Yeah, let me play this out one more time for you. I want you to think Godfather 2 and that senator from Nevada. Let's watch this.
People running for president would file their tax returns, let everybody look at them. But Mitt Romney can't do that because he's basically paid no taxes in the prior 12 years. The word's out that he hasn't paid any taxes for 10 years. Let him prove that he has paid taxes, because he hasn't.
You remember his name? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Senator Pat Geary. Senator Pat Geary.
Godfather, make it go away. Make the whole problem go away, Godfather.
Gentlemen, thank you. I wonder if I can get in trouble, Jesse, even for bringing that up, because he was a Nevada senator too.
That's right.
You remember how to get a license? That would never happen.
Right.
That would never happen.
Headlines tomorrow.
Oh God, no, please. Thanks to Howard. Love you. Hope you come on again.
Always a delight and a pleasure.
Hody, Jimmy P. Thanks, and Jonathan Collegio. Thank you. Coming up, markets are nervous. The fiscal cliff is coming, and where's Congress?